All right, we're going to do a taste test here of these cheesy jalapeno keto chips that I just finished making right here. See? Very nice. There's the bottom. Okay. All right, well, this is the first time I've tasted them, so let's see. Ah. I wasn't expecting that. And these taste like corn tortillas. And that's probably because of the cornmeal I put on the bottom as like little ball bearings for anti-stick. You know how you do with like pizza? You throw a little bit of those cornmeal ball bearings, the coarse ground on the bottom of your baking sheet, and then your pizza slides off really easy. Well, I did the same thing with these, and that's really overpowering this. I can't taste the coconut or the almond flour. It is a little bit like gritty, and I think that's because of the wheat bran, because it was a little bit flaky. Probably not the wheat germ, but they're not crunchy. They probably could, if you wanted to crunch them up, you could probably go more than 17 minutes. I just made these lightly brown, but we'll see. I could always recrisp them in the oven if I wanted to. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to do this thing, which, let's see, look at that. Oh, what is that? Okay, so this has got goat cheese drizzled with a little bit of homemade mild salsa made from those dried red Anaheim chilies you get in the bulk section of like your favorite supermarket. And then I've got some slivered almonds, and I topped it with a little bit of sweet to go with the sour, and those are dried cranberries. And what we're going to do then, because I just wanted you to see that, is we're going to top it with a little bit of this spring mix. Okay, now we're going to taste this. All right, here we go. There's no way for me to do this. I got to do the whole thing. Oh, yeah. That is really good. That's like a it's soft, like a like a hi-ho cracker. Doesn't taste like a hi-ho cracker, but it's got that consistency. And if you wanted it crisper, you can make it crisper. So here's how you make them. The ingredients for this, I made 35 of those size crackers out of these materials. So get yourself a 2-cup measuring cup. Fill it up with 1 cup of coconut flour. Then take a scoop of wheat germ and a scoop of wheat bran. Now the wheat germ has something in it for longevity called spermadine. Google that. It's the highest source of spermadine you can get. You can also get it in spirulina, which would be a great additive for these kind of crackers. It probably wouldn't take up much space at all. You put a big heaping tablespoon of that in the mix. Okay, anyways. Then you got about 1 cup. Then fill the rest of it with actually you put two tablespoon scoops of each of those, wheat bran and wheat germ. And then you fill the rest of it up with almond flour. So you get 2 cups total. All right, then you take 4 tablespoons of butter, and you're going to do like what you would normally do with like a pie crust, where you take a flour mixture and with cold butter and cold water, you cut the butter into the flour mixture, and then you slowly add a little bit of water until it gets that consistency of where you can like clump it together and roll it out. That's kind of what I was going for here. Oh God, I've got flour all over me. All right, then you add a few more dry ingredients. You add yourself like a half teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt. I know what you're thinking. There's no iodine in pink Himalayan salt. Well, get yourself a good iodine supplement and don't worry about it, because the pink stuff tastes better. It's got lots of minerals and interesting things in it. Half a teaspoon of baking powder, just to give you a few slight little bubbles and a little teeny bit of rising. You can vary that if you want. And what's next? After that, you take 3 eggs, separate the yolks from the eggs, put the yolks in with the mixture that you've cut the butter into already in its pea size, and all the dry ingredients have got that pie crust starter. It's just like making a pie crust. You put the egg yolks in there, mix that all in, and at that point it starts clumping together pretty good. And then you take your egg whites. Now this is an extra step, to whip the egg whites and then fold them in. I know it takes an extra 3 whole minutes, but it makes it light and airy, and I do it. So you whip your egg whites, till you get that little peak, till it holds the peak. Fold it in very, very gently at the very end, so that it's light and airy. And then you at that point, put it in the freezer. That's what I do because it's the quickest. For about 50 minutes till it's nice and cold. You bring it back out, you roll it into little balls, and then you just put it between 2 pieces of wax paper. Get yourself a nice flat frying pan and just press it down. If you want, it's a little extra step, but I clean up the edges, and then I sprinkled it with the cornmeal to give it ball bearings so it would come off the baking sheet, and it did. It just didn't even stick to the baking sheet. No parchment needed if you do them that way. If you didn't want the corn flavor, you didn't want these to come out like tasting like tortillas, because that cornmeal is on the bottom, and it's the first thing that hits your tongue when you taste it, and it's with very teeny little bit of corn. You can make these taste like corn tortillas, and it'll fool anybody, fool your guests. And I forgot to mention, like in the dry ingredients, you can add things. I added a teaspoon of cayenne pepper for a little zing, and what I had on hand, I had some dill, so I added a teaspoon of dill, and I added some sage. So it's got that, deserty kind of smell and taste to it. Oh, and I added a teaspoon of stevia. I can't put the stevia in my coffee. I just do not like the aftertaste, but it works well for this because it sweetened it up, and you don't get that bad aftertaste because the taste of the almond flour and the coconut flour is so much stronger. You can't taste that bad aftertaste that stevia gives. So I think stevia is great for cooking because it's so concentrated. You don't need much of it. I mean, a teaspoon of it's like, half a cup of sugar. So then you roll those out, you clean up the edges, throw a little bit of the cornmeal on top, plop them down, and you bake them for 10 minutes, and then check them. If the ones in the back are browning better, then at that point flip your sheet around, because my oven does not cook evenly, and maybe yours does, but you want like about 17 minutes, and then check it. And then that's what I cooked these ones to. They could have went a little bit longer, but you got to be right there, standing right there, watching them, because at that point, after 17 minutes, they'll start to go way beyond browning. They'll start to burn. One other ingredient I forgot to tell you is I used. Okay, so these are cheesy jalapenos. So I put grated jalapeno in, and I put cheese in, but I used what I had on hand, which was this, which is backwards and you can't see it, but it's Velveeta, and I'll put a slide up or something for the ingredients on that. And after I put that in, I thought to myself, well, this is so soft. I don't even have to grate it. I just push it into the pie crust mixture, and it just just folded right in. Like I just pushed on it and it just went right in. You didn't have to grate it, didn't have to do anything. I just cut a big chunk off. And I was sitting there thinking about it, and I go, maybe I should check the ingredients on the Velveeta. And sure the hell enough, it had modified food starch and maltodextrin, which is sugar, not keto friendly. So next time I'm not going to do this. I was being cautious because this is the first time I've made this. I didn't know how it was going to come out. It came out wonderful. But next time I'm gonna use a higher quality, 2-pound baby loaf of some sharp white cheddar from Tillamook. And I'm sure it will turn out way better, and it won't have, those ingredients that I don't want that aren't keto. And what else? You could vary this by putting any kind of spice in it you want. You could do, I just had what I had on hand, but you could do oregano, basil, thyme, rosemary. That'd be a good one. Whatever you want. And if you decide to vary this recipe, just, bleep bloop it down into the comments section. Shout out to my lovely, wonderful show, the Vice Grip Garage, and that's Derek Barry. And as a matter of fact, we're gonna try this. Okay, here we go. There's a Vice Grip serving spoon there. Oh. By golly, Derek Barry's right. Well, I'll be dipped. You can use these things for almost anything. Okay, well, we're going to end this video with famous words from that great chef, Emerald Lagasse. When he grabs his little spice wheel and he goes, BAM!